Well, hello there. Welcome back to FACEIT TV. We have one more map, potentially. SK versus HellRaisers. SK took HellRaisers map, Inferno. We're now moving on to SK's map, Train. They are notoriously good at it, I suppose. They love it. They pick it all the time. It is their focus. So you would expect them to play a great train against HellRaisers.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I'm expecting. I'm assuming that this is going to be a 2-0 simply because of how keen SK are on playing that map. Even though they didn't have the greatest results last time we saw them at an offline event, at least in person, which was APM for us, I would expect that they have the stronger cards in their hand compared to HellRaisers, because we've seen HellRaisers be anything like, I guess this is the same story any map with HellRaisers. They can either be really good or they can be very disappointing.
Excuse me. Yeah. This is the horrible thing with HellRaisers, because as an analyst, you're like, yeah, well, whatever.
You want to try to get a good grip and like convey what the team is capable of.
It's pretty much like predicting the weather.
That's
That's what HellRaisers is, man. Even if you had quantum computing, you could not compute what the hell is going on. You could not find a trend.
No, there's really not a trend.
There's no trend.
But I guess that kind of makes them constantly refreshing to watch. Like,
yeah, that's one really ambitious way to put it.
I mean, they can either drive you to insanity or they can be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. I mean, them, for example, at APM, they beat TSM in the best of 3. That's kind of ridiculous. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
They beat eFrag, which also you wouldn't expect that to happen, especially because going into that tournament, eFrag were actually looking really hungry and looking really good leading up to the tournament.
HellRaisers were
the
exact opposite.
Mouseballs in a
best of 7.
So it's like 9 maps or 10 maps in a row that they played.
Especially with the comeback.
What the hell?
And they played so well during APM. That was probably like the longest streak of good games I've seen from HellRaisers.
Absolutely. And we might never see it again. Who knows?
Crossing fingers.
But here we go. We've got the pistol round going on, and we have a bit of a split into the yard area. And SK are really taking names at the moment. 2 players down already for HellRaisers, and a bomb site is lost on the yard area. Dosia will take down AcilioN, and that's going to be great, but there's still loads of players to go. And Berry is going to be there by the electric box. Looks like SK can't really give this one up. It's very strong, and Dosia's going to be up in the faces of SK, but that's going to be that. Pretty clean round from SK, and that's a very scary start for HellRaisers.
Not the start you wanted. I guess the good thing about this is that HellRaisers are starting on the CT side. So there's plenty of opportunities to get back into this pretty quickly. And, well, since Dosia was the only one to get a kill, I'm actually surprised that we're not seeing a scout on him. We're actually not even seeing armor, which is very surprising to me, given that the rest of the team is actually bought up fully.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense most of the time.
Yeah,
he's trying to save for an ult for a teammate, but
maybe.
That's the only justification, but it's still a bit out there because the rest of the team is investing in trying to win the round.
Yeah, no, I guess he's going to take the hit then maybe, and Mo gets an early op, which is obviously something you want. And Mo has definitely shown that he can catch fire on a map like this.
Oh, there we go. Mo's already catching some fire there. He's looking to get some more fires, bringing the heat. SK, they are in trouble. SandeN's the only guy who responds. He gets a quick double, but more work needs to be done here by SK to save this one. HellRaisers could very well be taking this force up. Just as we were disparaging the choice of Dosia to be armorless and with only a P250, it looks as if his team is poised to actually win this one. But there it is, the kUcheR will go down. Great scout shot found by Friis, the sniper of SK. As we have SandeN looking to re-smoke the connector, the Z connector.
They're going to have so good afterplant positions.
This is why A is so hard as the CTs to retake. There you can hide
everywhere.
Anywhere. You can get around behind them somehow. They can appear from any area.
It's going to be so hard for Dosia without armor to take any proper fights as well. Like, if he goes on the bomb, he can't really fake it because if he gets tagged once, there's no point of him even trying to connect the bullet.
But there it is. That's the crucial kill, and Dosia gets it done. That is crazy, but there's no time. There's no time. Oh, that's heartbreaking for HellRaisers, but what do you think that they should do from this position? They just wiped out everybody from SK. Although that said, SK did win the round by the bomb exploding, so that actually means they get more money than if they just win by elimination. And so I think it's like a $250 difference. I think it's like closer to what, 3,500.
Yeah, I actually agree with this choice from HellRaisers. Seeing how close they've gotten a scout now on Mo, so he can do a lot of tag damage. It makes the pistols a lot more scary for them.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you have that AK saved up. I'm actually a bit surprised. Well, I guess Dosia might just end up buying a FAMAS or something to that effect, because he dropped off his AK to Angel. I'd be super surprised if Dosia decides to not buy anything at all now. That would make no sense.
Oh yeah.
But he hasn't bought up anything yet. So who knows why? Because you can actually buy during this pause, like during this kind of pause, you can still buy and drop weapons and all of that. So I'm surprised he hasn't really committed to anything yet.
Alright, so we'll have the match resuming momentarily, guys. It's a short pause. Do not worry, do not fear. And we have a very interesting situation here. I mean, this could go so badly for HellRaisers.
If they get off to a bad start where they it's that temptation of constantly pressuring the opponent's economy, so you feel like it's worthwhile. You can justify the fact that you're force buying all the time. Eventually, if you fall down too far into that pit hole, your game is over. Especially being on the CT side, because this is where you're supposed to get that gigantic advantage. So this is definitely a scary situation for HellRaisers to be in if they can't capitalize on what they're doing right now.
Here we go. We have AcilioN making his way forwards through the alley area. He's going to find himself a bit of a spray down onto kUcheR, and that's a fast round coming out from SK. This is absolutely brutal. They are savages taking lives from HellRaisers. That round was incredibly quick. That was maybe over in a matter of 25 seconds or so. And boom, there it is. You'll see 3-2 at the top. Do not be distracted. This is actually a 3-0 scoreline at the moment.
Yeah, I'm starting to... Yeah, for a second I thought I got crazy because SK and HellRaisers swap positions now, right? On the overlay.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, because I was starting to look like Dosia is not SandeN.
Yeah.
Something went horribly wrong there. But in any case, SK off to a great start, and, well, this is just a map right now for them.
Yeah, they are doing a lot of damage, and looks like only Kirill's gone down so far. It would be really nice if Dosia could pick up something extra, but generally speaking, SK, they are in great position here. You know, actually, what's funny is that it's much more beneficial for them not to look for Dosia, because if the bomb explodes, they get more money than if they just got the elimination victory.
Yeah, and it's not like Dosia has anything worthwhile taken away from him. I mean, sure, you've got a PT-50.
$300 from that, so...
Yeah, no, there's no point in actually going after him. Dosia obviously is in a bit of a different situation. If he can find anything at all, that's great. But it looks like Asger wise to it. Yeah.
The risk of losing whatever you're holding, which is for each player around 4K, there is a risk.
Yeah, it seems like they're just playing it very safely.
Nice. There you go. So yeah, plus 3,500, and now they're going to get even the frag as well. So
3,800 for Friis.
That's really nice.
Yeah, and you can see their money is stacked up pretty nicely right now. AcilioN, I don't think he's going to upgrade from the FAMAS yet, and he's still sitting on 9.4K. But the big thing right now is the fact that Mo has an op. That's going to be what potentially turns the game for HellRaisers, in my opinion. Especially because SK has yet to pick up an op yet. They definitely could have done that in this round, but I think they just want to be as greedy as possible, see how far they can stretch it with the weaponry they currently have before they decide to go with ops.
Yeah, and well, we have the 5th round playing out. We've got the... I mean, the AWP would be a factor, of course, if they go outside, and they've got 4 players there.
Yeah, and this is the scary part. The rotation time for that inner bomb site is going to be so slow if Dosia goes down quickly, and... Well, this should be... Well, actually, the bomb is hanging back for a while. Yeah, it seems like they're still going to be able to get the bomb plant down, and now they can take forward positionings.
Yeah, it's really important to go fast in towards connector, stop the CTs from getting out there. As soon as the CTs spread into the train yard, you have a lot of problems, because there's nowhere to fall back to, really. But we do have a very awkward spot for HellRaisers, as we have players all over. But that said, the deep positions of SK have been completely eliminated. It's just AcilioN who's left. He's on the bomb train. This is pretty much the worst position you could ask for. And this is why this bomb site is hard, and this is why Vendetta raised an eyebrow to the fact that the bomb was moving so slowly despite an instant kill there. You've got to get the bomb down and push to connector super quickly. If you can just put a couple players there, they can't get out.
Yeah,
and then boom, they're done.
SK decided to have 2 people hold back and basically have one guy towards higher to just hold off that in case somebody decides to push up really quickly and potentially grab one of those guys pushing forward on the inner bomb trains from higher. But you don't need one guy to hold the back rotation and watch higher at the same time. Like I think that's overcommitment from SK.
agree completely. But looks like SK want to change up the pace, the tone of the movement in this round as they look for that play into yard. And it's panning out for them. They have an equal situation on the men, but they've battled their way into some positioning, which is the key, and also the bomb plant. So here it is. We're talking about that post plant setup again at the end of the bomb plant on A. Decent positioning here from SK. Dosia and AdreN looking for those engagements, trying to find a peek. AdreN has a sniff of Friis. He's going to go for the frag. Excellent movement using the ladder of the train. The bomb is ticking quickly now. Berry just has to hold his nerve to make this one work for his team. Dosia with an excellent off angle is going to catch him there, but the hold is happening. Berry knows it. So good by Berry. He knew what was going on. He knew what Dosia was trying to do, and he went all the way for the wide peak just for that shot, and he had maybe 2 bullets with which to hit it, and he did it.
Yeah, and there you go. Those after plant positions are so hard to deal with if you're HellRaisers. I think in that case you need to have something similar to what they had in their eco, 1 smoke left over. So you have to force Berry out, you know, being a bit out of it, not sure where he's aiming, where he's at when he comes out of the smoke, and then having to, you know, also account for Dosia being in a different position. But so far this is an amazing start for SK.
It really is.
And that op pickup from Friis definitely worked out as well.
And now we have, of course, a man-up advantage. We have Dosia who's actually gone for the op.
There's nobody holding the inner side for HellRaisers right now. They're just fully committed to yard. Let's see how this pans out. As it looks right now, it's the correct decision, but still going to be pretty hard with no weaponry.
Little push there coming in from Mo, trying to get some info, but there you go. Dosia's going to shot. He had, of course, the info to look there, and kUcheR finds a kill as well. So now SK are actually. They have to be careful here, but we have a good position from cadiaN.
Yeah, they need to be patient and wait for cadiaN because Dosia's already rotated over with the op. So now just let cadiaN do all the work before you move.
Here he goes from the back. He's going to spot the first place, and by this time gets himself up on the course before going for the frag. But somehow, some way, AdreN's going to pick up both kills, and he's got no Kevlar. I don't understand how that happened. cadiaN should be able to kill him fairly easily unless an instant headshot comes in, but that is exactly what happens. That's ridiculous. That what on earth is that? Maybe that's why AdreN doesn't even bother buying Kevlar.
Doesn't need it.
That's why he goes 1 versus 3 with no Kevlar to get the defenses. I understand that.
Yeah, it all makes sense. The HellRaiser way. No, but that's first off, it's very unfortunate for SK because obviously they could only imagine that Dosia was the one rotating it because sure, like having 1 op on the inner bomb side, that should be fine and dandy if you want. If you're on lesser weaponry, you need to kind of stack to get an advantage somewhere. So HellRaisers just splitting up that thinly.
Ooh, that was a close call for Mo. Look at that, 1 HP left on him. Bomb is going to go down. No, it's not. We have AdreN just spraying through the smoke, but SandeN can do it too. Picks up the frag onto AdreN as he looks for the next one, but kUcheR will eliminate him. So HellRaisers are back in this in a very quick way, to be honest.
Yeah, very quick fashion. And SK did the same thing they did after the previous round loss. So lose 1 round on the inner bomb site, and then go straight out with a quick push out into yard. Same thing this time around, although they didn't find the entry frags that they did in that other round. But this is great for HellRaisers. They have the opportunity to get up to 4 rounds here pretty easily and also build up that economy of theirs. SK at best can hope for a bomb plant, but it's going to be really tough.
It really will be. We have multiple kills coming in here quickly again. HellRaisers, very fast round as they make their way up to that 5-4 scoreline. Looking to get the equalizers going, but to be fair, SK, they're probably fairly happy with already having 5 rounds, and they're going to have so many more rounds to play with to exert extra pressure on HellRaisers. But the problem is that HellRaisers have built some bank here.
Alright, so we're going to have a little pause right now. Apparently the SK's team speak is being uncooperative. We see that cadiaN does have the money to go for a glass cannon op here, and is that something that you would have liked to see them do?
Well, cadiaN glass cannoning it. I'm not sure exactly. It's I don't know that they necessarily need cadiaN on the op in a situation like this. I think executes can definitely help them out because you would expect the HellRaisers are not going to be as easily or as well conditioned in dealing with defending executes than they would be, let's say, defending with just raw angels. You should think that, okay, that should favor them a bit more, because if you get, let's say, a nice engagement for Mo, it's going to be one-on-one against someone. If he hits that shot, then that really sucks if you're the terrorist side. However, if he gets smoked off, it doesn't get an opportunity to do that until the bomb is going down, then you're starting to have issues for HellRaisers where they have to try to figure out on the fly what to do. And that's when you really exploit them. That's what I would think.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Absolutely. I think it's I'd lean more towards your way of playing it out than the other way.
We haven't seen many executes on the smokes for Yard, have we? I don't
no, we really haven't. Because
one on an eco, maybe, I think it was.
Yeah, that's probably the closest we've gotten to it where they got the after position with one of the guys by Pop Dog, and that's pretty much it. I think that's the only time we've seen it. Otherwise, we've had pretty quick pushes out in Yard where you don't really need much else than speed because of the way the trains are set up. So I'm not sure if SK are going to go back to that or if they're going to try that out, because obviously the last outer push they had, that got very easily demolished by HellRaisers, and HellRaisers also seem to stack with 4 people towards Yard. So I think actually that could be a really good thing to try out in the upcoming rounds. And we might actually see it now if cadiaN decides to go with an AK instead of an AWP there.
I do like as well that we saw when SK kind of realized that they were getting the AWP in play on Mo, they decided to go for the fast B play, although they kind of then just went a bit slower. The
half-heartedly fast.
Yeah, but it felt like the perfect play, actually, and they had the smokes to back it up, but they were just a little bit too slow to actually execute it. But either way, here we go. This is a
bit of a different move from HellRaisers as well. They're putting
the bomb. No, okay, sorry, the wall is there.
Aggressive play from HellRaisers, though, in Black Walls here. We've already got one guy pushed up aggressively towards higher here. They're looking to close people off early on if SK decides to move towards inner. This is also going to give the guys out in Yard a lot of time to rotate in. This is a smart play. I'm assuming that one of them is going to bail out after a certain amount of time, unless they just want to push as a duo. Seems very, very risky, though.
Ooh, there we go. Angel is going to get an aggressive frag onto SandeN. We haven't seen a lot of aggression there either. So that really caught SandeN off guard. He's going to go in again. This is actually...
The timing is
You
unreal.
are joking. And they were going to go for a bit of an execute outside, and they're going to have to do it anyway without the smokes that were going to be happening from Angel. And Angel getting that frag not only has a fast rotation to Pop Dog, which completely crushes their push, or should. Now his entire team knows what's going on, and they are all set up for this. They're all outside, all 5 of them. How on earth are SK going to pull themselves out of this one? This is such a horrendous situation, and Mo is just looking for the fast shots. He's not going to get them, but the bomb does eventually go down, and it's just buried left. But surely he is not long for this world. He's going to go down. Those pushes from Angel were they're very, very risky, but they just won the round straight away.
Massively, and the fact that he goes back again.
Yeah, it's like
goes back for more.
We just saw you kill a guy from this position.
Surely you're not gonna.
Yeah. You would never expect that again. But that's the thing. When you're you're playing at the high level, sometimes the stupid thing is the smart play, because you're kind of double bluffing your opponents, and that's what it essentially becomes. It's not about it being a smart or a stupid play anymore. It becomes about
outsmarting,
just bluffing them.
Outsmarting your opponent with doing the dumbest thing you can think of.
All right. Well, looks like Angel's about to get some action here. Gonna spot the first player. So a lot of bullets expended. He's not gonna have any left for the oncoming onslaught, and he will indeed go down. Bomb is looking to get planted here by these Ts who are rapidly pushing towards that bomb site. It will get planted, and that is job done. Friis is on an M4, but he has no Kevlar. He goes down, and that should be that.
There we go. Still pretty decent eco from SK's side. Pick up 2 frags, get a bomb plant. So this could very easily mean ops on potentially both cadiaN and Friis, but I think most assuredly Friis.
Yeah, I think they'd already lost like 3rd rounds in a row or something, so they're on. They had like 3,800 from that round. So
they instant op buy coming out, and cadiaN's kind of thinking about it. I think that's why he's delaying the buy. Yeah, I think double op. Oh, there we go, double op.
It's very risky.
It is. It's a massive investment, and if you only had 1 op in a situation like this and you lose the round, you could still potentially buy up one more time with AKs. Friis might have to go with the pistol or go ill, but now you're putting yourself in a position where you kind of need to win. And I think Anders is going to like this.
Yeah, Anders is loving that. Now we've got SK. It's actually paying off. Again, they're finding the angles and they are pushing for the shots and connecting them, so you can't really ask much more of them than that. Now, I like that they're taking it easy at the moment. They've gotten 2 kills, and they're saying, okay, let's just hold back and wait for the rotation a little bit and play together.
Yeah, no, this is very smart. But this is kind of what needed to happen as well. They needed to get those just opening frags if they wanted to have a shot at making the double op setup worthwhile.
Okay, here we go. We're going to see Friis picking up the shot onto AdreN. And look at this. This is so great for SK. This double AWP thing just turned out to be the most effective way for them to play, especially because they just... And this is actually another way to capitalize on a team that's not super familiar with the map. Then there are a degree of angles that only the teams that really put that extra mile in to the practice on the map can figure out. Like that boost on the smoke there. That some teams would go, oh, no, you can't go safely there anymore.
And that really messes with your head when you're not that familiar with it, because you don't know where to fall back to. Like, what's option B, what's option C? That was just a really good round from SK, and well, we're gonna see how they play it out when they can't get that quick opening though, with the double off setup. Well, I say that. Whoa! And apparently kUcheR just dies through something.
Yeah, the box there, I think, maybe, or the side of the wall. But Mo's got a shot back for cadiaN, so the equalizer comes in, and this map does have fast rotations. If you can keep hold of connector, and we have a player so far pushed on inner that as we do, HellRaisers aren't really worrying. They can play. They're basically playing 3 yard and 1
semi-yard.
Almost semi-yard. He's so far pushed up, and great off angle there. He's going for the second, doesn't get it, so the trade comes in. Now this is actually a problem for HellRaisers because they don't know where the bomb's going.
Yeah, but like you said, I think it's a bit of an over-rotation for HellRaisers, but they do show that they can rotate so quickly in because Dosia's so far up that the information is going to be there in good enough time for them to react on it. And now I think this is the right call to just leave one guy on the inner bomb site.
Oh wow, they're getting completely crushed here. These angles on this map when you go yard are pretty crazy, and SandeN is going to have to deal with a lot of them. Now he's got 15 seconds to plant the bomb.
They might let him plant the bomb actually, because they're not pushing aggressively from inner, so there's definitely an opportunity for him to do so, especially with picking up AdreN as well.
That frag makes the difference for SandeN. You're always going to spot one player. The distraction is running. Can he get the next player who's coming from connector? SandeN has that game sense. He's looking in the right location. Although the CT is going around the other side of the train. SandeN's looking for the shot. He's going to pick it up. That is Angel's head rolling on the floor thanks to SandeN's AK. And now there's just one more player. He goes for the shot, but Mo is going to drop him from the train, and he'll get the defuse in time. That was a valiant effort by SandeN.
It was really nicely played. I was really expecting him to just play it out by the ladder, because especially with the bugged hitboxes, he could definitely toy around with that and have AdreN kind of just wasting his bullets and giving up his position a lot easier, but he decided to commit fully and jump on top of the train. I think that was pretty much the only mistake he made that round. Otherwise, it was really well done.
Yeah, he played super well there.
Yeah.
SandeN's been impressing me. Every time I've watched SK play, I've been like, oh, well, SandeN is doing remarkably well. So,
quick entry again from Friis. He's been doing a really good job of getting early picks for SK.
And this train game has been very, very pick-based. We can see SK have a lot of knowledge.
I think they might be afraid to go back to just a tried and true execute because of how badly they got punished by HellRaisers the one time they tried it.
It's quite possible. And the other thing as well is that it does seem like, sure, HellRaisers are playing pretty well on the kind of aim dueling game. But when it comes to playing the T side, that's kind of harder to find yourself in a position where you can take aim duels easily. Whereas if they're just playing some angles, playing some setups, it's pretty simple. Like you said, there's not really many executes for them to worry about, so they just have to chill. And I'm curious how things will look on their T side. But we're not yet there just yet. We're almost there, but not quite. We have another couple rounds to play out. AdreN is now in a very poor position. He's got no support from the yard area, the main area. He's actually going to pull back there. I'm surprised he got the retreat. Shoots up on the train. He's going to get thrown aside thanks to the Molotov. That did indeed reposition him. And now SK have a bomb down. And 2 players who are incredibly low. There's one of them. Dosia's pretty full on HP, but his teammate AdreN's on 1. So here we go. We have Dosia looking for the players, but they are just peeking from all over the places. This should be impossible.
Yeah, no, it really should. And again, SK in really good after plant positions. They just need to buy time as much as possible and not die. Bit of a silly peek from cadiaN right there, but not gonna matter. They bought enough time, so mission accomplished. That's gonna be 7 rounds for them. That was really well done. And I really like the fact that instead of just putting down a smoke, as you would oftentimes see towards the connector area, where the the most logical rotation for HellRaisers is, they put down a Molotov instead. So instead of just having that potential guy who randomly runs through a smoke and then messes up your entire team, he has to take so much damage. And I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been kUcheR who ran through that Molotov and ended up at 28 HP when he finally got out of it. And at that point, he's a pretty easy target. Even though he might get you by surprise from an angle, you only need to connect with 1 bullet. So that was really nice from SK. So yeah, it shows that they're
you got a
8-1.
SandeN's afraid. That's scary. Oh, Mo's going ham over by Ali. He's picking up the kills, and SK haven't got much left to work with.
Barry on 1 HP, stuck with the bomb and Ivy. Not a lot he can do right now. So he's going to have to rely on SandeN doing something big right now.
He's been delivering pretty big results, but it's... Yeah, this is the last round of the first half, so it is all in here. Once we get the last move coming in from SK. Buried. Buried position really sucks because you're just thinking, what's
he gonna do?
What can I do?
Yeah,
I'm on 1 HP. There's just nothing I can do here.
I think that's why he's just kind of hanging out, just AFKing in alley right now. He's just waiting for SandeN to try to find some sort of opening, but he gets shut down by Angel. And Barry's actually gonna get a frag onto Mo. I think Mo's probably the best target he could have found as well because he's gonna sit there with his op. But AdreN solves the problem, and well. 8-7. Not the greatest half for HellRaisers on the CT side of train.
That said, they did post some rounds, so to me it's all going to be about how HellRaisers decide to actually approach that T side.
Do you think they're going to have the same up tempo that we've seen them have on their T sides?
Yeah, if they bring that dust 2 that we saw yesterday, that kind of same style, and you can kind of do that on this map. You can just run out. And
yeah, that's pretty much what SK did for a large part of the game. They didn't really heavily rely on executes, but just that tempo was working out really well for them.
And Angel, we saw that he was in the first map, just running and gunning, just getting so many openers. Yeah. And it seems like HellRaisers are able to abuse that individual skill in that sense. So, I mean, it can be suitable. You can play this map that way with the yard. If you have a few nades to throw as well, it's always going to be a pretty strong approach. So I'm thinking that we're going to have a good result on the T side of HellRaisers, but SK should win. I'd be surprised to see any other outcome from this point, especially like you're mentioning with CT, we're going into the T half for the terrorist side of HellRaisers. Words, guys, words are hard. Sometimes a struggle. It's not easy real.
Having to talk and stuff.
Yeah, talking is weird.
No, but I definitely agree with you. I don't really see a way HellRaisers can win this map from this point on. I definitely think they can get a couple of rounds on the board. I mean, pistol and then maybe first buy round, that type of thing. But I don't think it's going to be enough for them to get all the way to 16.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, at least with how much SK likes to play this map. Like, I mean, they should be able to know how to stop most things. And with the way they're individually they're playing as well, I don't think HellRaisers have that much of an advantage, going head to head in Angels either. So no, I definitely think this is SK's map to lose, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we get to the next map. I think it's Cobble. Yeah, Cobble was the decider if we need to go to it. But that said, how would you see Cobble going? Let's say that HellRaisers are picking up train. How do you think Cobble even goes? Because I actually think that
I think HellRaisers are respectable on Cobble.
So is SK though. SK are pretty handy there. But and actually, you made the point before regarding the double AWP possibilities. That's also really nice. We've seen cadiaN feel very comfortable in that map. You can see him playing on the B side, playing the hut kind of area. A lot of teams have actually foregone having an AWPer there, but obviously, of course, with them having the ability to double AWP up, it can kind of work actually quite well. So Cobble would be quite a fun match, I think.
Yeah, I think out of the 3 maps that we have, I would have imagined Cobble being the closest one, but I would still have SK as a slight favorite going into it, which is why I kind of expected 2-1, because I think HellRaisers would have taken Inferno but that didn't happen. So we might not be seeing Cobble at all. But I'm kind of hoping for it, but I don't see it as very likely.
But of these two teams, who do you think would take down Na'Vi? Who would have the best chance against Na'Vi?
HellRaisers.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just
But that's
CIS knowledge.
yeah, it's not a domestic matchup, but it's kind of domestic.
Yeah, it's close.
I mean, they play versus each other a lot, and they play versus each other for several years. I mean, it helps, definitely, and it's also the fact that I think HellRaisers has that potential to beat most teams on any given day. Maybe not in the best of 3, but at least in the best of 1, and you make it competitive. I think Na'Vi just outshine SK too much for it to be a proper scare for Na'Vi. I think HellRaisers is a much more unpredictable opponent to go up against, and that might scare Na'Vi a tiny bit. But either way, I think Na'Vi should be fairly okay.
Especially when they're actually hitting the shots as they're supposed to be hitting them, as you would imagine their players. I mean, they have a decent caliber of players. This is always the HellRaisers conundrum. And before, when they were Astana Dragons, it was always the conundrum where it's like,
why aren't they doing better?
Why aren't they actually winning? Because they should be winning a lot more. And it's partly because they have the history of some of these players. They're so storied. They've got so much experience, and their skill ceiling on them is potentially so high. So this is why HellRaisers are always such a weird team, because you expect them to win more, and you expect them to do it in flashier fashion almost than they do sometimes. And sometimes you see like genius, and sometimes you see the opposite. And it's hard to see when it's impossible to predict the ebb and flow of that process. So yeah, I would love to see them bring something consistent to the game again. And that said, speaking of the Astana Dragons lineup, it's cool to see Markelov playing a bit better now that we've got Simple gone from FlipSide. I always wanted to see what would happen if that in reality was going to actually happen, and
now we see it.
Yeah, because Bondik is always my favorite player from that team, because he was just so solid. The guy is so solid.
He's not going to get a lot of fans by being a solid Counter-Strike player.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree. He's definitely the one for me. I thought he was more fun to watch than Simple at times as well, but just because he makes a lot of solid decisions.
Yeah.
But that's not going to excite a crowd by any means. So I think he's fairly underrated by most people. But you could definitely tell that during the Cologne event.
Yeah.
That was, he was really stepping up. He was dropping, 30 bombs here, 25 bombs there, and just being really solid again.
I mean, he's the CT side. Like that's where I always saw him shine the most. You put him somewhere, you can basically give him jobs that are as complex as you would say Mirage, the connector area Mirage is, because Mirage connector is very hard to play, and the reason why Crim's developed such a reputation for playing it so well is because it's so hard to do. You've got so many things to worry about. You've got to have almost an entire picture of what's going on in the entire map. You actually have to have that in your head to make the proper decisions, because then you also have to realize, how do I play with my teammates here as well, and how do I adapt to what they are doing, and
how do you efficiently use your grenades? I mean, you don't want to waste it by don't want to waste it early. You still want to hold on to them, but you still want to use them early enough to help out teammates in other spots. And you have so many other places that you can potentially help out, and you feel responsible for all of them if something goes wrong. If a guy pops out of apartments and kills one of the guys on A site, you feel like, well, I could have been there to help him out. And
yeah,
same
you've
thing
got
with
to
the
make
guy
the adjustments.
well.
The hardest adjustments to make. It's amazing. Bondik to me is the player of that caliber, that you can put him in spots like that, and he would deliver. Just like I think most classically where you would see him deliver, because it was a very good map for FlipSide with Simple, was the drop zone position. He would always be locking down that choke point, and he would be doing it with such consistency. And even if the defense would falter towards the B platform area, he would be able to adjust and keep the delay going and get multiple kills. Because and that's the important thing, delay and picking up a multitude of frags. Because if you can do that, then you give your team a chance to retake. If you're unable to get more than a single frag, then you don't delay enough, you don't give your team a chance. So yeah, really appreciate Bondik's play. So it's good to see him stepping even further for his team.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
And Markelov, will we see Markelov on the AWP now? Does that make sense?
I mean, if there's ever been an opportunity for him to pick it up, it's now, right? Because they've also delved into double ops and that type of thing as well when Simple was there and World Edit, that type of thing. So why not now? But then again, he's had plenty of opportunities where he could pick up that op, and we see flashes of it. So you keep hope alive. I think it's kind of a similar thing with him as it is with Dosia, because you keep expecting, you want to see consistency coming out of HellRaisers, but Dosia's not playing at the same level he was in 2013.
Yeah,
but you still hear Dosia and you expect him to be like he was in 2013 in terms of, you know, getting at least 20 frags every game. That type of thing. You expect that kind of Dosia, and it's kind of the same thing with Markov in the op. You expect him to pick up the op because he was, you know, arguably the best opper of all time in 1.6.
It's pretty incredible reputation.
Yeah.
A lot to live up to. The cool thing about it as well is what this also really means with not having Simple there is it gives people a chance to once again see what Blade can do with the team that's cooperative.
Oh yeah,
all on the same page.
That's a big thing.
Because I don't think people understand how amazing Blade is.
No, they're definitely
really
not.
good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, okay, I'm not gonna go spreading rumors and whatnot, but no, in the past, I guess, since it's in the past and it never came to fruition, there's definitely been teams, you know, outside of the CIS region thinking about picking up Blade. You know.
Oh yeah, I know which teams you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, his reputation as a leader and a strategist is, or statistician,
Highly regarded.
is yeah, and we saw that with the previous DAT lineup and so on. Anyway, we are back into the match, guys, and it is quite a match here. HellRaisers must hold on to this map if they hope to go to a Cobble decider to keep themselves in with a chance to take SK down and move to face Na'Vi for a chance to qualify here. But first things first, we have the pistol round on train, the second half, and HellRaisers look to kick things off well. We've got already a few altercations, and AcilioN's not come off too well.
No grenades on HellRaisers though, which is somewhat surprising seeing how spread out HellRaisers are. But as it looks right now, they might just set up for what we would call a standard 2-1-2 back in the day, and it's kind of hard to make work if you don't execute it properly, especially without nades, because then you have to have people pushing out at the exact right times for each other. Otherwise, it's going to be easy pickings for SK. But that's a good start.
Yeah, it's all about those shots in the ends, and looks like they're very, very, very aware of AcilioN. He feels like he can't move, he's pinned down this spot, but where is Dosia looking? Will kill AcilioN though. And this is hard now for SK. We have 3 USPs, a kit, and a couple of nades. That means only one player, cadiaN, has Kevlar. This is very, very awkward.
I don't think there's a lot they can do, because they decided to stack the inner bomb side because they had so little information as to what was going on that they have no realistic way of actually retaking this bomb site. They would have to funnel everyone through connector, and that's awful.
Just really, really weird, because it didn't look like they were kind of like thinking, guys, let's save the kit and the 2 nades.
Well, I actually, in a situation like that, I think that's okay, because what kind of realistic opportunity do you have at actually retaking the bomb site and getting a defuse in versus 5 players that you have no idea where are?
I would still try though, because it's a pistol round.
Yeah, but if you can hold onto a kit, you still get the money because you're losing the round anyway, right? So you can force buy, and you have a kit, and an additional nade or 2.
All right, well, we've got the force buy coming into play, and good damage actually across the board. Dose is quite low. He's an easy finish. Not sure where he is. Oh, okay, he's close to the under where T-Sky used to be. There he is, outside alley. SandeN with the wrap around. The bomber's going to go down for free. Is he going to pick up a weapon there? Indeed, SandeN picks himself up an AK-47, and he's going to take down Angel with it. That leaves Mo alone against Mr. Clutch. It's SandeN. He's got himself 6 HP though, so that is quite a daunting task.
And no defuse kit.
He's going to fall back. It's really, really horrible to have to feel like you need to fall back in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like this, but he's making the right call.
Yeah.
I hope I don't think he should die, but I think he
that's
should
not
move further away.
blast range. Yeah, no need in risking it, right?
Yeah, he's going okay right into the corner. That's good.
But yeah, that really solid eco or force buy from SK. Managed to pick up 4 players, and they hold on to the AK. That's what makes it really, really nice. But I don't think they should buy up because of it. If anything, no, actually, since they're playing against mainly AKs, no point in actually buying up head armor as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice situation for SK. Okay, so they will go aggressive into yard, and they have Berry, I believe, who is looking for that inner info, but he won't find anything just yet. We've got, I think it's AcilioN who's close to teammate, and he is just going to be checking out the info as well. So SK playing a reactive style, and HellRaisers are just biding their time. We can see the spread. They've covered the width of the map. If you take your attention to the minimap, it's an interesting setup that they have, but they're just trying to avoid any early round pushes.
I like the fact that they haven't gone aggressive on the inner bomb side. If you want to go aggressive when you have an AK out in yard, let it be yard to take the first fall. In that sense, that maybe that baits out people from HellRaisers that SandeN can potentially pick up. And now it seems like they're actually moving about. They feel like they need to get some information as to what's going on.
Here we go. They're out of tat of these AK-47s as they move into the bomb site. Yard is open season. And it looks really easy for HellRaisers, as it should. And the AK goes down. So hope is lost.
It's all over. SK might hope to pick up a pistol or two at best. I'm not really sure why they want to save, especially cadiaN. cadiaN has nothing. He has literally invested nothing into this round, so... And he's not even in a position to pick someone off. So,
also, cadiaN's being sub next round, so apparently there's an issue.
Okay.
cadiaN, I guess. Not sure what the issue is, but...
You didn't get 3 frags in the pistol round. You're out. Is that how it works? I guess he timed out or something after the first half. So that would
not Nico.
Could it be?
That would be quite
hilarious.
That would be pretty. How is it to be just like, guys, come on?
Really, guys?
Just like get Olaf Meister, Olaf Meister's like,
wait, are Massports in FPL invited already?
To FACEIT?
No, FACEIT League?
No. We had SK had to replace them.
Oh, that's how it worked. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if that is the case, then Nico could definitely play for them because I think there probably would have been rules for it if he had already been in the league to play for potentially another team that could make it to the league. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't know who else they've played with recently in an official match. They haven't
really played with anyone. It's been Nico stepping in for Friis, and
now it's Nico to step in for cadiaN. I suppose that
it's not like they have not that many to pick from if you're going for Danish teams. But I guess the problem is that TSM is in the FACEIT League, so that kind of takes away anyone from that team. But Dignitas maybe.
I suppose so. I guess it doesn't really. Yeah, I guess Dignitas works as well.
Yeah.
Anyone from Dignitas, any Dane really, just that's just not in TSM.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, unless of course, reason we're knocked out by HellRaisers, of course. So.
Yeah, you could get like Config or Yugi.
Yeah, just any Dane, I guess.
Yeah. They have a luxury problem pretty much as to who they can choose from. Obviously, it's not going to be a joyous occasion to have to go away from your actual lineup because it's going to mess up with your setups and that type of thing. But on the CT side, I think it's easier to make that kind of a swap instead of having that happen on the T side. I
think cadiaN is a really good presence on the team as well. I think he's a really good team player actually. So I think from that perspective, it's a loss as well because as far as skills concerned, okay, that's great, whatever. But there is actually a lot of other aspects that go to being in a team as well, and one of them is the social aspect, how well you interact with your teammates on a not just like a morale perspective, but just how you make them feel by playing with them, and how the kind of vibes that you bring onto the team speak is pretty important, I think. So yeah. I think cadiaN's really good with that.
I think for a short-term thing like this, it might not be that much of an issue for them. I mean, it's basically 7 rounds or so.
So EXR or EXR?
EXR, yeah.
Do you know him?
Yeah, definitely. He used to play with SMF and Lama and those guys. And Flekkerolle. It's like pretty rubbish Danish pronunciation, but yeah, no. He's been around. I think he also played in one of the old Nexus lineups, if I remember correctly, with with Barry and Sanoe and those guys. So he's been around.
I think I've cast him like once or something before.
Yeah, but I think he took a break from CS for quite some time and have just recently started playing again. So it's gonna be cool to see if he's up to snuff.
Well, it's gonna be pretty sad for SK if they're not able to just because I mean already they've been playing with the lagging cadiaN in this train game. They would have thought, okay guys, we've won Inferno, we've done this, we've got this in the bag. And they had a really good start going into train, and then all of a sudden it started to go a little bit downhill. So it's going to feel terrible for them if they actually end up
drop
Cobble.
Yeah, no,
and then like, oh my god, it's Cobble. We've got to play an entire map with this random guy.
Yeah. Oh, and normally CT sides are not that awkward to play with the stand-in, but a map like Cobble, that B-bomb side just becomes complete mayhem if you don't know what you're doing, in accordance to your teammates. So that could be really interesting. You
close your eyes and know what your teammates are doing, what they're doing in all situations. Yeah.
So that could be really interesting to see how that pans out if it goes to Cobble. I mean, who knows? EXR could be, or XR could be, in top form, playing really well and contributing just the way SK needs him to, and they could close out Inferno or Train as well. Could happen.
I actually like that aspect when you have you've been playing so long with the team that. And let's say because what I used to do as well is I used to go through demos, like POV demos, after a match. Like we'll watch your POV, okay, now we'll watch your POV, and now we watch my POV, and go through everybody's POV. And you get to know your team very, very well, and if you've been playing with people for years as well, you get this very, very good feeling, like where you can close your eyes and you know, like you have an intuition of what your teammate's going to be doing. You know where he's going to be at a point in the game based on, like you just know. Yeah. And you can't even quantify it like actively, but of course you've practiced and conditioned yourself enough to know. And then, but that's so cool because, like you say, that you have instead of having that element of chaos, you have this element of just almost tranquility,
serenity. Yeah.
And you just know what's going on, and it's really cool. Like you can
it
just
makes
completely
it so much
rely.
Easier. Yeah, it makes it so much easier for you to play as well because it takes that entire potential thought process of you having to figure out what goes on. Well,
do I have to worry about this?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you can just focus on yourself the entire time, and that makes you so much better. So it's going to be exciting to see. Hopefully, it's not going to affect them too much because as you said, cadiaN's been lagging throughout Train. They put up a really solid performance on Inferno, and I would have expected them to close this out 2-0 after picking up the first map. So, would be kind of heartbreaking for SK if they ended up going out of this qualifiers because of it.
So apparently there are some issues being experienced. Can we get do we have any further information on that one? Okay, so we haven't received any further information as to what's actually going on. So
okay, so it's calling as well.
Yeah, cadiaN was apparently calling for these maps as well. So so we may have to go to a short little break because we have no idea how long this is actually going to take these guys to remedy the situation. So guys, what we'll do is we'll just have a little break and we'll come back very shortly with an update or the game. So stay with us and we'll see you very shortly. Alright guys, so we are back. We have an interesting development. So instead of replacing cadiaN with one of the many Danes that we were talking about,
we've got outside the borders.
We've gone to Norway.
Yeah. zEVES is going to be the one hopping in for cadiaN. And well, I guess we mentioned it at the end before I went to a break, the fact that cadiaN has been calling for the two last maps, or well, 1.5 map now.
Yep.
And this best of 3, so why not get a caller in your team to stand in?
Yeah, I always liked zEVES as a caller.
Yeah.
I saw some good T-side CS from him.
To put it that way, you could definitely tell the difference between the Norwegian teams, be it LGB, LC, or what have you, with him and without him, in terms of how they actually play and how much better they were. So a lot of people like to harp on zEVES because he might not be at the same level as the other guys individually, which is fair enough. You know, not everyone's going to be, you know, as good as the other guys in your team, but he definitely brought something that was worth much more than a potential 5th fragger would do. So that's pretty cool, and it's going to be interesting to see how he can, you know, boss around, or if he's even going to do that, if he's going to, you know, go in there and call, which I don't really see happening. That would be really weird to me because he doesn't know the dynamics of SK. But you could definitely contribute in terms of, you know, just coming up with ideas on the fly as to what they want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's always had very clear plans in his games. That's why I've always enjoyed casting his T-sides, because you see the plan, like everything that they're doing. It's super clear that it's all working together to get to an end. Like that's what actually a strategy actually is.
Yeah.
It's like you have a goal and
you're working towards the.
Yeah, you find the most effective ways to work towards that goal. So every step along the way is indicative as to what is trying to be achieved. So yeah, good at strategy is zEVES, but of course he's standing in, so it's a bit of a different idea. And we can see him. He's on the Copenhagen Walls. Name, of course, Copenhagen Walls did acquire a few of the leftovers of
that free PR.
LGB. Yep. And we have HellRaisers who have been sprinting ahead, but finally SK have pulled together some money. And T-sides is not really a concern for SK. They've already played their T-side. It is over towards the CT side, the reactive side, the defensive side. And Dosia's going to announce his presence.
It looks like we're trying to be so sneaky, and then it just like plopped down.
It's like limping now. He's broken his ankle, dragging that leg around, limping. Ooh. But still he gets, he's sharp on the shot. SandeN is going to go down. So looking pretty good. Is that a CT that's just running amok amongst the Ts? Yes, it was. But he'll be dealt with. This looks like a good round for HellRaisers. It'd be hard to see SK pulling themselves out of this one. Friis with the AWP though, and Berry has found himself a forward position. But you can see AdreN is doing what you were talking about, just spotting, abusing the ladder on the hitbox, or the hitbox on the ladders, and Friis will punish. Good stuff there in the back from Friis, but Berry's going very, very low on the HP at this point, and Mo is still doing the same shenanigans here. He's just using the ladder to get some info for free, and then falling back. And this is why this bomb site is so incredibly painful. Like, it's one of the many reasons. It's probably the second biggest reason, I would say, just behind the fact that there's cover all over the place. But yeah, that free info is pretty godlike.
It really is, and well, they're actually gonna force it. Okay, so dropping a few weapons around. There's an op to be picked up on Friis. There we go. Weirdly enough, I mean, they don't have the same artillery as they would have liked to, but they do have more nades this time to work with. So this could actually work out for SK Gaming. But then again, they leave themselves in a position where they could potentially just lose 2 rounds straight. And at that point, HellRaisers should feel pretty comfortable closing this map out, because they just completely went to the bottom of their sack of money. They have nothing left at this point.
It's definitely looking a little bit rough. And now they're just waiting. And in a situation like this, I think it's totally fine to play maybe even 3 players into A and just having one guy pretty defensively in towards inner.
Yeah, I think it would be the case, especially because they have the op on Friis. So all we'd have to do is hold either higher or lower, and then just try to get that one kill.
Angel's like looking.
Yeah, it's like I'm narrating right now. And that would be all he had to do before his team rotates, but they're going to stick with 2 people. And HellRaisers are actually rotating in towards the B bomb site.
What is going on? SandeN is all over the place here. Oh my goodness, that was a bit of a mess. And he will go down for free. Now, Friis is really important in this with that AWP. It's so good in this kind of spot with no smokes down. It's going to be mighty fine. And zEVES is creeping his way close. Misses the first barrage with that FAMAS. Looking for the next play. He's very, very aware that there could be someone up that slope. There's the frag onto kUcheR though. Friis needs to get the guy on top quickly. Oh, he gets the tag, but where's the frag? Dosia and AdreN are both around 20 health and below. Friis with a quick finish, but no, AdreN comes in from the side, and there's nothing left for Friis to do but escape with his AWP in his hands. That was a good effort from Friis, but had he only gotten that first kill sooner, or rather instead of getting the tag on that guy on upper, just gotten the kill, and then he would be in position to support his teammate most likely.
Yeah, that would have made a world of difference. It could have also bought zEVES a bit more time to, you know, potentially fake defuse and just focus on the lower bomb side, because AdreN didn't have that much HP either. I think he had 10 HP or something.
Yeah. And I think Friis had the kit too, so if he could have just got there in time, or maybe, I don't know. Either way, SK are looking rather strained. And we have 2 players moving in towards Pop Dog here from SK.
Wait, where are they finding this money?
Well, Norway is pretty rich.
Yeah, like zEVES must have been...
He's brought the cash.
Used all our oil money to fund this Danish team.
He's brought the bags of cash, the bags of swag. And now HellRaisers are playing it pretty slow, looking for an aggression, and they are having their intuition for that, and that front is quite good, because we do have very forward plays coming in from SK. Look at that movement on the ladder. Dosia not able to get it done though, and only half HP for SandeN, so he's going to feel pretty good about that. And AcilioN is still supporting him, so they've gotten the frag, and now they can fall back. And they've got Friis on the AWP as well. He was still playing... He's actually playing Ali, I think. Ali and teammate. So, nice setup here.
Yeah, we're going to see an execute from HellRaisers, and, well, there's only 3 people from SK out in yard, so chances are there until Friis just decides to shut down Mo. Now it's going to be really hard for HellRaisers to get anything done.
They have not got much time either. That's a really big problem. Oh, and the bomb is actually not even on anybody's back at this point.
They forgot it.
SK doesn't know this, but yeah, they kind of forgot the bomb. Oh dear, this is rather crushing.
kUcheR's kind of lost. Might be able to make it off. Yeah, he's going to be able to save that off, so that's big. For a second there, it looked like he was lost in no man's land with the bomb, and, you know, pants down his leg. But manages to hold on to it. Luckily for them, they still have quite a bit of money saved up as well. But the biggest thing for SK is the fact that they had very few losses. They managed to hold on to that op that Friis dropped when he died.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Now, yeah. I mean, this is definitely doable for SK at this point. They have a lot of grenades to work with, and it's definitely favorable for them to be on the CT side in a situation like this, even though they're quite far behind.
Alright, so we do have HellRaisers only 3 away from taking this one and bringing it to Cobble, but SK Gaming is starting to find some form. HellRaisers are opting to play very slow indeed.
Yeah, they're just waiting. They don't want to get caught out right now. I wouldn't be too surprised either. If Angel's not able to find anything towards the inner bomb site, they might just go back to a similar setup as the previous round, where they go for an execute.
Okay, well here we go. We have the push coming in very soon as the nades are going to be set up. HellRaisers are going to leave themselves around 30 seconds to get this bomb down. It's actually still not in anybody's hands because they're setting up the nades. Here they go. It's a big delay into the execute. I like this from HellRaisers. I really do like this. And they just have to hit those shots. They just have to get the bomb down fast. Oh, look at this. AdreN's going straight through that smoke. He could be a really big problem. Dosia as well and kUcheR all coming in together to absolutely lay waste to the defense of SK. But Barry springs back into action. Bomb needs to go down. 15 seconds for that to happen as Dosia locks down connected. But no, Barry back in again. And he's in a one-on-one against AdreN. He's got 44 HP. AdreN is trying to find Barry. Barry is being very loud about this. Looking for that engagement. AdreN has played this very well. He's not giving away any sound cues, and he gets the shot because of it. AdreN so patient, so stealthy. Very nicely done.
Very nicely done. And, well, SK, they apparently need to pause again. So they're just going to find a new sub. I'm not sure who is the guy they need to swap out, though. This is a pretty rough situation for SK, obviously. They were in a pretty favorable position. They picked up 1 round on the CT side, which is not like we would have expected.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Friis has been doing pretty well in this match, I gotta say.
No.
I think you pointed this out earlier as well. He's been hitting a lot of nice shots, really opening up the rounds, playing defensively pretty effectively. But at this point, how do you expect the train to go?
At this point, I think HellRaisers are bound to take train and put us on cobble, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen from there on out. Losing cadiaN, obviously, that removes their potential double op setups that they like so much, which has been a big part of their play style, really, on both train and and Cobble. So that's going to weaken them. At the same time, I think HellRaisers, I think HellRaisers are better on Cobble than they are on Train for the most part. But then again, they could be very very up and down on any map. But right now, it's looking a lot like things are going into HellRaisers' favor.
Maybe they're going to steal away another match just as they did against Reason. However, it does seem like we are seeing DDoS. To be fair, we haven't seen it in ages.
No.
So they're going to keep trying to play with zEVES, I think. I think that's the latest on the information. We'll have to see if that actually works for them. As Vendetta rightly said, we could just be going into map 3 very soon anyway. So another map to play potentially. This definitely is kind of annoying for everybody involved, considering that they might not be able to play with somebody because of DDoS. So yeah, we'll have to just play it by ear, guys, and see what happens as things develop, and hope that everything can go smoothly from here on out. But either way, it's good to see that HellRaisers are hitting some stride, but it's also always going to be sad never not to see SK on their map being able to play their game.
All right, so money is pretty dodgy on the side of SK right now. See, they've forced up with 5-7s, CZs, and then they have the Colton and FAMAS and AcilioN and Friis. They haven't had much luck in weapon rounds so far, so thinking that they're going to be way better off with pistol, obviously not that likely. And again, how HellRaisers are just taking their sweet time. It doesn't make sense for them either to rush into anything. Surely they're aware of what kind of situation SK find themselves in.
There we go. HellRaisers just working out SK systematically, and as you mentioned, not much that they can do with the inferior weapons. Just take down zEVES, and it's just Friis and AcilioN left, and they pretty much have to save. It's pretty much a hopeless situation at this point.
Yeah, no, it feels like this is over. And it's kind of a shame how everything played out with cadiaN having issues and then zEVES having issues now, but yeah, I guess there's still a tiny bit of hope, tiny sliver if Friis and AcilioN are able to hold on to those weapons, because they should be able to get a couple of FAMASes on their side if they'd like to. But I would like to see SK split up where they put their weapons more. Than instead of having both guys out in yard, I would have much rather seen at least one of the weapons go towards that inner bomb site, because you can't really expect Barry to do anything at all with a zEVES in hand. Even if there's only one guy pushing in from HellRaisers, it's such long distance, unless you can creep up on him on lower, that it's going to be extremely hard to be effective at all. So that's why you kind of need either a Colt or a FAMAS in there to kind of do proper battle.
Okay, well, we have a quick push from Mo. He's going to eliminate Barry straight away, carving open a path here for SK, but great peek from Friis. He takes down both players. That's going to move things into the advantage of SK, only for a moment though, as SK SandeN can't quite get it done with the mag up Pop Dog ladder, but Friis is still in this position, causing all kinds of problems here for HellRaisers. Angel's going to fall as well, another victim to Friis, as he's going to go for another repeat. Finally he'll go down. He did so much work to keep SK in this one. Now AcilioN and zEVES are looking to see if they can figure out what's going on. zEVES will get first contact. He'll take down Dosia. That's the bomb as well spotted. He just has to hold for his teammate. There's a nice little pop flash to buy some time. He needs his teammates to come in. AcilioN is making his way in. He'll look for the face. However, AdreN is aware of this, but he can't make it happen. Great round from Friis. That 3K really saved SK. But they are hanging on by their fingernails, to be honest. Like we were earlier today in climbing.
It's very possible that SK might just fall off, because they weren't able to build any sort of economy. Not that it really matters at this point, but obviously you'd like to buy up after every round you win with Colts and full nades. And right now, I like this though. The fact that SK are starting to put more people towards the inner bomb site, and not just having Barry being alone.
Are we seeing a Pop Dog push coming up here as well? There's a player, I think, right below Pop Dog. SandeN is actually completely executing them as well. So, yeah, dealing with this eco quite well. But that's 5 rounds in a row they need to find. And indeed, it was Friis who was taking matters into his own hands. There we go. Nicely done by SandeN. We'll get 5 more rounds potentially out of this one. SK are fighting to stay alive against HellRaisers, and hey, they can definitely make this one happen.
I could definitely go to overtime because yeah, they're just on the easier side to play. We'll have to see how it plays out. This time they actually have, you know, full weaponry, so that's nice for them. They've gotten their nades as well. But this is going to be a quick execute from HellRaisers.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's always
or is it
hard to predict what happens when you hit these fast executes. Oh, I like the fakes. Always he's going to find himself at some heads here, and they're looking for that push. Now they're going to go because they've been spotted, and AcilioN has not even reloaded. He gets a kill though onto Mo. He's got also a lot of time bought for his team. If Friis holds down Pop Dog, and there's a flank coming as well. SK all over this push at the moment, despite only being ahead one player, and Friis is almost dead. He will be soon. He's going to bleed out in a moment. zEVES is just playing it slow, using the silencer. He's being spotted now. Perfect angles from zEVES. And the sub, the SandeN, the Norwegian, will deliver. That's a beautiful, beautiful round from SK.
Yeah, and again, the fact that AcilioN spots them out. And Friis does such a good job of just staying alive in Pop Dog there. So even though he, you know, took maybe a tiny bit more time than he should have with the guy dropping down from Pop Dog, taking a bit more damage, he managed just to stay alive and just keep HellRaisers more or less trapped inside of their own teammate. That really did it for them, and now it's an eco and, well, a lot of deagles, but not that much armor, so their aim is gonna be flying all over the place.
Here we go, we've got Barry with just a bit of a pop in the side of Angel. And the thing about these, like why also the comeback, as you said, is possible due to the fact that it is the better side, and it's also a situation where they get the ecos, because HellRaisers' economy was already busted, so they guarantee themselves, you know, the win, and that, well, okay, they win against the buy round, and there's an eco, buy round, eco, buy round. So they only have to win against 3 buy rounds. That's all they really have to do to get overtime. So we'll get the second buy round now. Then, of course, if HellRaisers lose this, unless they plant the bomb, they won't really be able to field a proper round. So you would expect them to think, okay, we want to be able to throw our smoke execute. So I would predict that they would eco after this instead of forcing it up, unless they get the bomb down.
And again, SK keep the trend going with having 2 people play that inner bomb site early on. And it's been working out really well for them, so happy to see that. Ooh, Barry.
Ooh, this is very dangerous. Barry's pushing forwards, but there's also a player that's not been spotted. They think it's completely safe. He pulls out the knife. What's he doing? Barry actually gets the kill. I don't believe it. He is so lucky that he actually passed Angel, and so Dosia had no idea that he could possibly be behind him. That was ridiculous. Now
we just need... Well, he kind of put himself in an awkward situation because now he committed to trying to get Angel there on higher, and look at what's happening from behind.
Now we have trades coming in, looking for the finisher, but at least a lot of damage was done onto AdreN, and they are a man up. So SK in a good position. It's going to take a nice showing of individual skill to actually pull this one back for HellRaisers. But sitting with that surprise position is going to have a good vantage point onto Electric Box, and that is mowed down. And the bomb spotted as well. Full rotation for SK, and they are really bouncing back here. We do have taps there, and there is the finish as well. AcilioN will take down kUcheR, and that is 2 rounds almost flawlessly won. So SK are on a lot of money, although at this point, it doesn't really matter. There's 2 rounds left for that overtime possibility, and HellRaisers didn't get the bomb down. They are hurting for cash.
Right now, they've just really came back into it, and it seems like the sparking plug was just having 2 people play inner bomb site.
And also Friis almost making the 30 bomb.
Well, yeah, that does help as well. But you know, where did he find those 3 frags?
Yeah,
you know, that was from higher, and that's the first time they've pretty much played that position all game on their CT side. So it definitely caught HellRaisers off, and now they're changing up the way they're playing the inner bomb site so much that HellRaisers can't feel comfortable about just waddling in towards Black Waltz and trying to find a pick.
Yeah, it's really been hopeless for them. We can see SK trying to set up a standard anti... I mean, they know that there'll be Tech 9s. They'll know exactly the economic situation here for their opposition. And it does look like HellRaisers are thinking about going for that. If not, I mean, they might actually go for the harassment to B and make it look like it's a B, and then go back through Pop Dog.
It's going to be a solid... I think it's just going to be a solid B push. You can see the Molotovs that are going to smoke off the lanes and Molotov the normal areas to hold from.
And they didn't count for the top of the train. SandeN is going to lurk over the top and pick up the first kill. So 2 for 1, that's definitely good. A good start here for SK. Berry's holding down in front of Connector, so okay, they get the bomb down, but that's still not going to help them all that much when there's only 2 players left. And you can see Angel was, oh okay, he's got the set grenade here for the bomb spot. That's beautiful. You gotta love that. That is beautiful attention to detail. I think a lot of people are going to be seeing that one. That is awesome.
Yeah, no, that's it's a nice attempt from HellRaisers, but again, like getting the bomb plant down in a situation like this doesn't really matter because they would have been able to buy it properly for the last round anyway. So I think SK just did the right thing by just playing it patiently, waiting for Barry not instead of just running in hunting for frags, padding those stats. He just holds off, wait for the rotation to come in, and then they just clean up pretty easily by themselves. And
this is it. This is where the moment where it's like, oh my god, guys, we just need one more. And that realization sets in, and you're not playing round for round anymore. There's just one round you need to win. So it starts to feel like maybe we can actually do this, guys. So this is the point where a lot of teams will actually falter, and you see the 16-14 happen. I wonder if that will happen again here for...
super aggressive positioning from zEVES and Ali right now. And I think that's very risky with you having committed 2 people towards the inner bomb site, because if Ali goes down and HellRaisers decide to push behind it onto Yard, then where are the 2 remaining guys in Yard supposed to look? They have to cover 900 different angles. But, well, no harm, no foul, no harm. And HellRaisers just want to go towards the inner bomb site, it seems like, again. They might just set, given how many Molotovs they have, they might just set up for a similar push to what they did in that previous round in their eco. Maybe they have an additional Molotov for that upper bot, that 3 train on top of that.
Now, this is really interesting. I could really see SK pulling this one out of the bag here. They have the right nades. And again, SandeN on top of the train. He's going for the spray. He used all his bullets instead of 1 for 2. This time it's just a 1 for 1 in this guns versus guns situation. Friis comes in. They did not lock down Connector. Looks over the top. Misses the shot. That is key for HellRaisers, but he will finish him off. In fact, it's going to be AcilioN who does that as SK try to push forwards, but zEVES is on 1 HP still, and Friis is looking over the top with the AWP. He's positioned shortly. We spot. Oh, what a shot there. kUcheR's going to go down. And both players here from HellRaisers are making their way back to upper. Friis has the position. Looks for the first shot. Where's the repeat? Oh my goodness, they're missing all the shots here. And that Molotov, that money Molotov is coming in to deny them. zEVES, 1 HP. He can't do it. And that's going to be HellRaisers. Indeed, they will make it happen in the last round. And that means Cobble is going to be the decider for this best of 3 series. So HellRaisers are still in it. And, well, I guess one of the reasons why they were going to run that strat, because they have that opportunity to use the Molotov. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, I definitely could have swung the other way. I mean, if SandeN lands that first kill a tiny bit sooner, he can back off, and they are in a very similar situation to what they had in the eco. But I think HellRaisers saw the fact that they got a lot of space with their Tech-9 force buy with all the Molotovs, so they could definitely make more of it if they had AKs, and especially in open mode when he could just plant his butt behind that 3rd train and just sit there. So yeah. Well, Cobble it is. Cobble it is. Cobble it is. So we mentioned it a little bit previously, but guys, we'll take a break whilst the teams and players set themselves up to get that one going. So we'll see you very soon for the rest of the first qualifier here for the semi-finals for the FACEIT Stage 3 European League after the break.